All right, guys, we're back. Welcome back to the middle of nowhere. So today I'm doing a video as I was invited to participate in a tour for book 2 in the Gael Song. I think it's a trilogy. Maybe not. It could be longer. It's the Gael Song series by Shauna Lawless. I was invited by the publisher, which is Head of Zeus. And they reached out to me and asked if I'd like to participate in book 2. I loved book 1. And so I eagerly agreed and was able to read and participate for this tour. That being said, I'm going to kind of give you a why you should read the Gael Song series. It starts off in the children of gods and fighting men, and it focuses on 2 POVs in this one. Both of them are female, and both of them are immortals, and they each have their power. The big difference is they generally fight and try to kill each other. And I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers, but this is a Irish historical fantasy. So it's based on a time of Irish history that I am not super familiar with, but I have found myself falling in love with it. And the way that Shauna Lawless writes this series makes it sense. It flows beautifully. You get the Vikings, you get the Celtics, and a lot of history is going on here that you can look up and study and learn all about. And then you get this immortal side thrown in from these 2 characters. My favorite part of this is the way the immortals are handled is way different than I've seen in other series. The biggest thing that I've always noticed is how people are immortal. People are immortal and live for a very long time, but they grow up to like the perfect age, and then they stay in that prime forever. But their youth is still the same few brief years as any regular mortal. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. If you're going to be immortal or have this long longevity of a life, it should be delayed, is how I've always kind of viewed it. But one thing, so this is handled extremely well. But the other thing is these people don't always have immortal children when they're born in this bloodline, and so they influence the politics and things with their other children who might not be immortal like themselves. And so this leads to a lot of political backstabbing and other soft nuances and other thought processes going on, as well as they're taking care of their children who are in their 80s or in their advanced years, and so on and so forth. And the one thing that I found that was really cool was that right at the start of book 2, we get that memory from one of the main characters. We get that experience from Fodla's point of view of caring for her daughter who is very advanced in age and is suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's, and she asks like that she not be saved because Fodla has the power of healing. And it was very heartbreaking, and this is how book 2 starts. And I just loved that. It's not too much of a spoiler. You find out that she heals and has that power pretty early on in book 1. And but the emotional impact that prologue had was a sucker punch to the gut right off the bat, and just sets up the continuation of the story. I do have my link to book 1 review down in the comments down below. I did review it when I was reviewing for Escapist Book Tours, and you can find it there. But needless to say, the Words of Kings and Prophets, which is book 2 in the Gael Song series, it it picks up right where book 1 left off. You continue with the historical setting, and the main 2 POVs of Gormflaith and Fodla are still the primary people. But the cool thing about this book is we do add a 3rd POV, and it was a male, and it added a great twist and more intrigue and interest and another wrench in the works, so to say. That's all I can say. You guys really need to check out this series, especially if you have any interest in like historical fantasy or historical fiction. This will tickle your fantasy. It does have that fantasy twist to it, though, that will draw a lot more fantasy readers. The one thing that might throw people off is that, yes, there are 3 POVs in book 2, the 2 POVs in book 1. Each chapter is written in the first person. So if you do the audio style, which I have done, it can be, you might get thrown off onto which character you're listening to. The advantage is they do use a different narrator for each character, so that helps tremendously. And when you're reading in a digital format, as I did, or a physical format, you just have to kind of remember who's who and what's going on. But it's not difficult at all. Just some people might be thrown off onto it, as it's a writing style that not many people do. But I have found that I really enjoy that style of writing. What else can I say about this series is that it will also, the action sequences are extremely well done as well. You get full-on battles as the military and their actual conflicts that you can read in history. And the way that the author is able to add her twist of the fantasy into these battles is extremely well done. It was exciting to read the battles. Your heart gets pumping pretty good, and you start, your reading pace picks up as well as the pace in the book, and it's extremely well done. The other fun thing, and I will say is the strength of this novel, is the intrigue you get from the magic system as they look to develop their powers and learn and grow with them and find out what else they can do with their powers. Conflict that they have with the other people in their groups and what have you. Like, you can tell there's much history as they are immortal and they've lived for several years and they have that knowledge and that belief. And the way that it's handled, that they still don't, even though they're immortal and live for years and years and know a great deal, they don't know everything. And so they're still struggling to find out, as well as they struggle with that pain from the loss of their mortal children. And to me, it's just beautifully brought out. You feel that emotional conflict in each of the characters, and each of them has that distinct voice. Anyway, that's some of the reasons and some of the things I've enjoyed from reading the Gael Song series. I look forward to as many books as she writes in this series. She is definitely an author you should pay attention to and look forward to reading these books. The covers are beautiful. They're in that Celtic style. You get the Celtic sword, Celtic spider, and the colors are excellently done. I would like to pick up a couple for my shelf just because I've enjoyed them so much, and I know that I'll look forward to rereading them. And I look forward to seeing what you guys think. Have you guys read this series? Have you heard of it? If not, highly recommend that you check out Shauna Lawless and her works, as well as what she does in the future. If you guys can do me a favor, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, all the typical YouTube jabber jabber. But until next time, guys, as always, happy reading and stay great.